Hello guys, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and in this video we are going to be looking at the tactical analysis of Arsenal against Liverpool, a game where we were humiliated by Liverpool from minute 1 to minute 90. I just felt like I don't want to talk about this game again, but then I want to I want you to understand what really went wrong. Many people have been saying, and I've said this, and I'll say it again, Mikel Arteta got it wrong, but where exactly did he get it wrong? How did Liverpool get it right? Because for me, I think whether Liverpool had scored in the first minute, whether they had scored in the 90th minute, they were going to win this game. It was a sure deal for them. So we're going to be looking at the tactical preview, but before the tactical analysis of the game. Before I do that, I want to give out a shout out to these people. Thanks for the comments and thank you for watching. Edward Sebaiga, thank you so much. Thomas Firi, thank you so much. Rajab Raka, thank you so much. Joseph Ochari, thank you so much. Bebs Dawodu, thank you so much. Peterson The Rock, thank you so much. Guy Wheels, thank you so much. I've been reading through your comments and I'm going to reply to them, so make sure you check them out on the channel. Peter Muragu, thank you so much as well. Joseph, you have a question, and you were saying that Mikel Arteta's poor selection, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, how his poor selection actually led to us losing that game. Mohamed B. Kamara, thank you so much as well. And Smarts Ukweku as well, thank you so much. So those are the people who managed to comment on the last video. That was the match reaction, and as I promised, they get a shout out. So let us look at the lineups, and first and foremost, how did the two teams set up? Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Phillips, Kabak, Robertson, Fabinho, Thiago, Milner, Mane, and Salah and Roberto Firmino for Liverpool. They started out in a 4-3-3 formation. Arsenal on the other side, we started out in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Leno, Chambers, Holding, Gabriel. Holding was just coming back into the starting lineup after months and months of not playing football. Kian Tierney in the left back. Partey and Ceballos formed the pivot, and the three behind Alexander Lacazette were Pepe, Odegaard, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So for me, the most interesting part of this video is what went wrong with Arsenal and how did Liverpool dominate the game to an extent that Arsenal only got 3 shots on goal. It's embarrassing, but that is what actually happened. So let's go down and try to analyze this game slowly by slowly. Try to understand what happened in that game and probably why Liverpool got a win well deserved after 90 minutes. So I think one of the things they saw in the first half, and it really broke my heart, was how Liverpool pressed Arsenal. I think Liverpool's press was all they had in this game. It was so brilliant. So first and foremost, now you have Arsenal playing almost 10 players as defenders. So this is how Liverpool compressed Arsenal. Now you have Mohamed Salah getting behind Kane Tierney. You have Mane getting behind Chambers. You have Milner now pressing ahead of Chambers. You have Thiago in front of Lacazette and Pepe and Martin Odegaard. Roberto Firmino was the striker there. And Fabinho, I think Fabinho and Thiago were the reason as why Liverpool won this game, as well as Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then you have Trent, who was playing actually almost as another striker. You have Robertson, who never had a very good game. He didn't make so much of important runs going forward, but he was there, pressing, and they played a high line. Kabak and Phillips were almost the last players and were playing in the Arsenal half as midfielders. So this is how the game set out. This is how the game was. Phillips, Kabak, Fabinho, and Thiago, Robertson, all the Liverpool players were in the Arsenal half. So for me, looking at this game in the first half and in the second half, the center of action was the Arsenal half. In both games, it was the Arsenal halves. You have Arsenal being pressed in, inside their penalty area, because it was more of of getting into the penalty area, into the dangerous areas of Arsenal, rather than Liverpool having the ball and passing it, sideways in the Arsenal half, because that would have been different. But what Liverpool set out to do is, we get the ball and press Arsenal towards their own goal. And if you look at all the goals they scored, all of them, they were so close to Leno. They were so close to the goalkeeper. You remember Diego Jota's goal. You remember Mohamed Salah's goal, and you remember Jota's last goal. They were so close. They were so close to Arsenal. They pressed Arsenal to an extent that there was no space for Arsenal to get this ball and redistribute it. That's why you saw that whenever Arsenal, let me just try to get this. There we go. Whenever Arsenal got the ball, whether it was through Kian Tierney or Chambers, there was no way you could move this ball forward. Because whenever Liverpool lost the ball, they could just fall back. Thiago falls back, Firmino falls back, Phillips falls back, Roberts falls back, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold, with all his speed we know, he also falls back. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, for Liverpool, when you do not have the ball, and when they had the ball, they almost had 10 players on the ball. So that's one of the things I think Klop set out to do, and he did it very, very brilliantly. But one of the things that I think Arsenal should have done in this game, and they failed to do, was to exploit this space around here. You had to exploit this space, because Liverpool are playing a high line, and they never had the best of defenders, because Kabak is not a phenomenal defender this season. I don't think he's one of the players that are having a brilliant season. Phillips as well. So they were playing a high line. What you're setting out to do in this game is try to get the ball in this area. Try to pass this ball. Try to kick this ball into this area. But Lacazette was playing so deep. Odegaard was playing so deep. Pepe was playing so deep. Chambers was playing so deep. And the only player that could help you unleash the counter-attacks, because for me it was more of how Arsenal could get Liverpool on the break. It was going to be through players like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Nicolas Pepe, and we never saw at any moment Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang try to do the needful. He was dreadful. He was so poor in that game. So I think the tactics of Mikel Arteta failed, because I think his tactics were try to contain Liverpool, try to contain the attack and pressure of Liverpool, and I think he did that in the first half brilliant well. They didn't concede, but then in the second half you needed to change tactics, because whenever you're on the receiving end, whenever you're on the receiving side, anything could happen. Could happen. You're going to concede one goal, and then everything falls apart. And that's what happened yesterday. When as soon as Liverpool introduced Diego Jota instead of Roberto Firmino in this position, and I'll just change this to Jota. As soon as Jota comes onto the pitch, he gets closer to Leno, because this is what Firmino had failed to do. They needed someone who was a little bit sharp, someone who could get a little bit closer to Leno, someone who could actually make this Arsenal defense exposed, because that is what Liverpool had failed to do. They had done everything absolutely, the runs from Thiago and all those beautiful passes, but they had failed to get someone who could actually expose Arsenal. Now that was, for me, what Diego Jota needed to do, and he did it brilliantly well. He comes on, just a few minutes later he heads home, a goal that Leno should have scored. Because if you look at how, let me just change this to Arnold, and then this to Robertson. So if you look at that cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kian Tierney of course went off. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was in this position. Straight to Jota's head, a cross that has no competition. Aubameyang is standing. Jota is here. Actually he's arriving, because I think it was more of an arrival from Jota, and then he hits this ball towards the ball. But what's fascinating there is Rob Holding is behind him, and Gabriel Magalhaes is in front of him. So Jota is between Rob Holding and Gabriel Magalhaes. So I think that is what you needed. You needed a player who could be a little bit more sharper. In that final area, and I think Jota is a little bit sharper than Roberto Firmino when it comes to finishing off chances these days. I think offensive wise, or going forward, Arsenal did absolutely nothing. It was more of defending the ball, and there is nothing they could do. But I think the partnership that Liverpool have to thank so much is the partnership of Fabinho and Thiago, because what Thiago was trying to do yesterday is receive the ball, because you're playing a high line, and when you're playing a high line, you need to keep possession. You need to have that ball onto your feet all the time. So what he tried to do, get this ball and keep it, distribute it to all the field. And I think it's Fabinho and Thiago that actually destroyed Arsenal in that game. And it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious that Arsenal lost in such a manner. But anyway, that is what I think, and that is my technical analysis of this game. If you think otherwise, use the comment box. Thank you so much for everybody for commenting on my videos, and thanks everybody for watching the videos. I'll keep the comments coming in. Keep the comments coming in. It really means a lot. So Smart Ukweuku, Joseph Ochari, Mohamed Kamara, Peter Muragu, Guy Wills, Patson Derrock, Babs B, Dowadu, Joseph Ochari, Thomas Peary, Sebaiga Edward, and the others. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love, and keep the love flowing.